everybody. Monique Carlisle, your business automation optimization coach here with Midas Web. We come on live every day, Monday through Thursday at noon Central to talk about business strategies, tips, suggestions, good business practices so that you can grow your business. We then follow that up with some AI. So we develop content on a variety of areas, not just marketing, that helps implement those strategies. And then finally, we take all of that great things that we've created and we implement them with the automation system. So Midas Web is a high-level user and reseller. We use their automation platform. It's an amazing software. So you'll get to see that towards the end of today's video. So I appreciate you joining us. And today we are talking about schedule integrity, calendar integrity. You have a lot to offer your clients. You probably have multiple services that you want to get into the hands of your clients and prospects. But each service has its own nuances. This week, we're highlighting our use case of a pet groomer. So when I'm speaking specifically about a grooming service, think about all the different things that a pet groomer might do. Some of it's going to require some cleanup. Some of it's going to require some paperwork. So in your service company, even if you have a product for sale that you're offering, maybe there's something that you have to do that's going to require time ahead of for prep or on the backside for cleanup. Those kinds of things can prevent you from booking multiple appointments back to back. And of course, you would love to have a calendar full of appointments back to back, but that does not respect your time and your energy. You need time to not only shift from one service to another, but you also need time to do the business. So in addition to having all of these great client services and booking appointments, you have to set aside time to run the business itself, to do your own bookkeeping, to do your own marketing efforts, to develop the next flyer, to order new products if you're a manufacturer and you need to order new supplies. You have business tasks that have to be done. You have to respect that. If you do not work your business will not work. So how do we do this? Well, the first thing is to take a look at what your business is and what it does and figure out how much time do you need each day to finalize your business tasks. Do you need an hour to do receipts and bookkeeping and tallying and close the books for the day? Do you need 20 minutes to just follow up on those last few emails and double check tomorrow's appointments and send those confirmations? Do you need 3 hours because you need to do research for tomorrow's consultations? Is there a block of time you need to set aside to just prepare for tomorrow's activities? You have to decide that and then put that into your calendar as blocked off time. Some people call this time blocking. It's a whole system in and of itself where you block off different sets of time for client appointments and a little bit for bookkeeping and networking and marketing development, content development. You have all these different blocks of time that you put into your calendar so you know what you're doing throughout the day. Time blocking can be an amazing strategy for some business owners. And for others, it doesn't work right. It's not a good strategy for them. So try it out and see if it works for you. There's a whole lot of other ones that you can utilize. I prioritize my time, a little bit of time blocking, but I set aside time at the end of the day, about 3 hours, to just close out everything. Follow up on appointments, record those notes, make sure I've communicated with my business partner. So I make sure not to book appointments past, say, 5 o'clock at night. And then I can use any time left over in the day to do those business tasks. It's really, really important that you also recognize where your time needs to be spent on other things. So not just business, but if you have a family and you like to make dinner for them every night, well, you might want to quit, serving clients earlier than 5. If you have a commute that you need to put into place in your calendar, schedule that in. One thing that I have advised my business partner on is to schedule out and block off that travel time. So I know when he's on the road and he knows when he can do phone calls. So when he's driving, we happen to live in Houston, Texas. So to get anywhere, it's an hour. Uh, when he's driving, he knows to bring his list of prospects that he can just have phone calls with the whole way down. That is a great use of his time that would otherwise just be used staring at other cars. And that's not very useful. When we would carpool together, we would set aside certain tasks that we would accomplish in the car ride. Be very creative with your time, but know how much time needs to be spent on these different things. You need to spend time on content. You need to spend time on marketing. You need to spend time on your financials and your books. So set aside those blocks within your schedule. Now let's come back to services. So now that you know how much time you have to set aside and you're going to work that in, you're a morning person, schedule that open time in the morning. I met somebody who gets up at, I think he said 3 a.m. In the morning. Yes, 3 a.m. And he works from 3 to 10 a.m. on, maybe it's 5 a.m. But he works very, very early in the morning because nobody else is awake. So he knows during that particular time of day, nobody's going to call him. Nobody's going to need anything. He knows he's going to have 100% quiet solitude because he's working on a major project. You do you. When it comes to services, you also want to have that calendar integrity. And services is everything from what you're offering clients to if you're doing a meeting. So meeting with somebody, whether it's one-to-one networking or providing a consultation, that's going to take time, and that's a service to somebody. You need to have that calendar integrity for services as well. Think about each thing you have to offer. How much time does the service itself take? How much time do you need to, as I mentioned, clean up after that service? How much time do you need to prepare for the next one? That's what we're going to talk about today. So we're going to jump into AI, and we're going to have AI actually create some packages for us and give us some suggestions about those nuances of service. So I'm going to pull up ChatGPT, and we're going to jump right in. Starting a brand new chat with ChatGPT. We have a couple of chats already going. We talked to ChatGPT about our website, about some blog content. We've talked to it about social media. This is a different conversation. Now I'm keeping it separate because, like I've mentioned before, if I want to go back and have an additional conversation about social media, then I want to use the social media chat because there's a history there. This chat knows what we're talking about, and I don't need to preempt it and give it any more information because it knows kind of where the conversation was left off. Same thing with website development, fleshing out any of those pieces. So we're going to start a new conversation, and I'm going to start it by just asking, what are because I don't want some, I want all. The services a pet grooming company may provide for dogs and cats. These be detailed and include routine services and specialty services. Now, what I'm doing with this is I'm setting up context. I'm letting the GPT know kind of where we're talking about so that when I ask these follow-up questions, it already has a schema, a context to relate everything to. All right, so it's going to list all of these, and it's already giving me packages, so it's ahead of the game. That is absolutely awesome. And I'm going to show you another GPT tool called Perplexity AI for research. We'll do a little bit of research with this training today as well. All right. Perfect. Okay. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to say thank you and be kind to your GPT. These are awesome. I'd like to offer packages for various service combinations. One example, so now I'm going to give it an example, is ears, eyes, nails, and teeth as a package. Please suggest multiple combinations of packages using the services you've listed above. All right, let's fix a little bit of the spelling. Okay. All right, now while that's working, I'm going to come over to another chat with a different tool called Perplexity.ai. I like Perplexity for research. So if you were to have any sort of research across any industry, Perplexity is an amazing tool because it gives you what I call breadcrumbs. It gives you references. So you'll see exactly where the information came from. So Perplexity is kind of like an AI fueled search engine. What I want to know is what the current pricing trends are for grooming services. So I'm going to ask Perplexity to look at the greater Houston area. Please tell me the price of grooming services in Houston, Texas. Include dog and cat services, specialty services, and routine services. All right. So now it's going to go and it's going to search the web and it's going to tell me kind of what these services should cost. Now, this is great market research. I'm going to have my own prices, but now I can compare it to other general businesses and decide if I want to go higher or lower. Depending on my value proposition, I might increase my prices from that. If I'm a high-end breeder, groomer for breeders and things like that, or if I'm just more general, accessible, just want to make sure every pet is taken care of, I might lower my prices, or I might run the average. So that is something that you can decide. All right, awesome. So here's some extra services. So I'm going to take all of this information and I'm going to put it into my calendar. So now that I know the cost of the services and I have all of my packages, awesome, perfect. Now I need to go and do one more piece of information with GPT. I need to know the time. Now I know the time, but do I really want to say, okay, bathing and conditioning is, a 40-minute, brushing and shedding is another 30 minutes, haircut, another 30 minutes, and then add up all those pieces? I totally can do this by hand and say, okay, this mobile grooming package is a 2.5 hour window. Or I could just ask the GPT to do it. Please suggest a time, let's see, the length, each appointment, each package. I use the same vocabulary that it's relying on. Please suggest the length of each package of services so I don't overbook myself. All right, so here we go. Now it's not giving me all of those detail pieces. I will have to scroll up when I start making these, but this is awesome because now I don't have to think about these things. Now let's implement. So I'm going to come over to our platform and we're going to create a calendar. Because this is a service-based company, we're going to actually create a service calendar. Service calendars can be the most complex to create. So we're going to just jump into it because I have created service calendars and then you realize you missed a step and you got to go back. There's a few steps to do. When creating a service calendar, you want to start with a group. So you need to create a service group first. So I'm going to, oops, I don't need to do that. I want to create the group, and I'm going to call this pet grooming services. Now this is public facing. So whatever you title this group, the public is going to see. Pet grooming services. And we do our URL, pet grooming. Okay, now that our, one, two, three. Now that our pet grooming group is made, that one's taken 2. Okay, let's do 4. All right, there we go. So we have our pet grooming services group. Now we're going to come over to calendars, and we're going to create some service calendars. I'm going to do this very quickly so that we have a few to just work with. I'm not going to do all of them. So the service, let's come over here and say we're doing all these packages. And here we have the basic care package. So we'll call this one basic care. I can add a description right here in the original section. So I'm going to scroll up through basic care. Here we go. Copy and paste. Who's going to fulfill? Basic care. And how long does it need to be? Okay, ChatGPT did this for us too. So that is going to be a 30 to 45 minutes. So I'm going to give myself 30 minutes with a 15-minute buffer. So that's going to make sure that I have enough time to, if it does take a little bit longer, or I can set it for a 40-minute appointment. And there you go. So we'll go ahead and create this. I'm not going to go through advanced settings in today's training. All right, this is how you can take some of these links, but we don't need to worry about that right now. So close that out. Let's create a couple more calendars really quickly. Let's do the deluxe grooming, 2 to 3 hours. Deluxe grooming. Assign that one. All right, 2 to 3 hours. So I'm going to make this 90 minutes. So that's an hour and a half. And again, I can do a buffer to kind of make up that time. If you want to just set it for 2 hours, 120 minutes, that's up to you. Let's do one more just so you can see what it looks like in just a moment. All right, pampered pet. And I forgot to look at how long. 1.5 to 2 hours. So let's do this as a 2-hour package. All right. And confirm. All right, so now that we have a couple of services, they are in, I forgot to put them in the group. That's okay, we're gonna do that here. So I forgot to assign them to a group. So I'm gonna click these 3 dots. We're gonna click move to group. They have to be in a group to appear in a service calendar. Okay, so we'll do that one. We'll move this one to the group. And one more. Okay. Now that we have the essentials, the foundations built, we're going to go into the service menu. And we're going to create a new service menu. This is the landing page where it's going to highlight your services that are all associated with this one group. So we're going to call this pet grooming. And I misspoke earlier. This is the service menu that the public will see. The group name they don't see. So that's an internal notification, tagging for the group name. The service menu name is public facing. Of course, fill out all of these pieces. All right, you can have a specific form for pet grooming. I would customize this form, put the name of the pet, the age of the pet, any special needs, disabilities, considerations, the breed, the weight, all of those things I would ask for, and I would create a custom form. and then I would choose that custom form for when booking these appointments. Your consent boxes. We don't need guests. We can do multiple services, and then staff selection. All right. And now we go to services, and we want to do the pet grooming. You do not want the massage services. You can isolate if you only want a few of your services to be shown on this calendar. For our purposes, we're going to choose them all. Now, what's really awesome is if you did choose more than one calendar group, so if I chose both of these, then when I come over to arrange, maybe I want the massage calendar to show first. So if you do pet massage, that would be awesome. And so we'll turn this off. All right, and then put save at the top. It's a little hidden by this header. Apologize for that, but it's right here at the top. All right, we're done. Our service calendar is created. So now we have our service calendar here. It's active. To share it, we're going to copy. I like using the permanent link. If you use the scheduling link, please do drop that in the comments and let me know the best use cases for that. And this is what your clients would see. So from here, they can book each of them and see all of your offerings, all of your descriptions, and then we'll need to go into each of these and add charges and things like that to it as well, which you can do all of that under advanced settings. So this is one way that you can stay on top of your time and make sure that you're including buffer time within the advanced settings and have that communicating with your clients, how long it's going to take, how long that they should budget for, and how to manage your services. So we'll do another lesson on the advanced settings within this to, again, time management. We'll talk about all of that next week. So join me for open office hours immediately following this live at 12:30 every day. We jump on and answer any questions about business, AI, automation, all of those wonderful things. So come on, get a sounding board. Let's have a conversation and let's grow your business. Thank you for joining.